It's there, the next world update for Flight Simulator, and it's taking place in Portugal and Spain. After 2 days of delay, it's being available as a download, right? So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you go to the Microsoft Store. There you will download the game. It's roughly 500 megabyte, but there's more to come, right? So once you've done that, you can easily start Flight Simulator. And once you start Flight Simulator, it will gonna check for updates. So I think this screen is also new. So they changed some stuff. That's cool. So it's launching the game. So it looks like that they also made some changes to the launcher, right? In different scenarios, it was, I would say, launching full screen. So it looks like that they made some changes here. So let's wait until the game is being launched. And then we're probably gonna check for some more updates, right? Because the first update is via the store. Then you've got the second update, which is a lot of other stuff like some sceneries, etc. And then once the game is launched, we need to go to the marketplace and make sure that we're launching the actual world update, which also is a lot of things which are needed, right? Like the I would say challenges, etc. So blue into the background, right? So now it's starting full screen. So that's good. And then it will start playing the normal videos like we are used to have, right? Like the game studio and the nice Asobo logo. And the next step is that we're gonna check for the update and will prompt us that we need to install the update. I'm really curious how big this update is. In most cases, the world updates are pretty big. So keep that in mind, right? If you've got an internet connection, say, be aware that it will take some time before it's being downloaded. The prompt you just saw was the save mode, right? Save mode was introduced a few updates back to make sure that if the game isn't correctly closed or it's crashed, that it will ask, hey, do you want to boot in save mode? In save mode, it won't load any add-ons from the community folder and will simply use the default add-ons only. That's to ensure that if you hit an issue, you're not going to complain each time to Asobo and say, hey, there's an issue with it. So here's the update screen, right? So the version is bumped up to version 1.24.5.0. And you can see that we need to have 2.6 gigabyte downloaded. It will download in the default folder. So let's hit update and then it will start downloading all the stuff. Based on this, you can see that there are 318 packages which is needed to do download, and if you look really quick, you can see that tutorials are being updated, some new patches are there, some new landing challenges, aviators, but I'm not gonna keep you, I would say, watching this video, which is simply, I would say, downloading the stuff and installing the initial stuff. So let me pause recording and then we will continue with the recording once Flight Simulator has started. So the first update has been completed, right? That's the main update. And let's see what has changed. Well, initially nothing has changed, right? But that's, I would say, kind of normal, because what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're installing that world update, and you can get it from the corner here. You can select it, and based on that, you probably need to scroll down, or you can change it to world. And inside the world, you will find the world update number 8, Spain and Portugal. And you can say get and download, and then it will start downloading the second piece of data. As you can see, this piece is a lot bigger, right? It's 7 gigabyte. So a lot of stuff has been added. So while showing this, let's see what has really changed. And we can do that by reviewing the release notes, which also have just been posted, because I don't want to get you stopped looking at the screen, because this will take, well, maybe a minute or 7-8, and that's not very useful. So here are the release notes. As already mentioned, the version has been bumped up to version 1.24.5.0, right? So it's again recommended by Asobo to validate the community folder, and they say, okay, hey, if you hit any issues, they make sure that you clear the community folder and then relaunch to see if the issue has gone. If that's the case, it's one of the community add-ons which is causing the issue. In addition to that, what they did is they added the Portuguese localization, and they added the RAC 2203 data. That's the data for the navigation points which are added to Flight Simulator. This is only if you're using, I would say, the built-in RAC data. If you use, for example, third-party data like Navigraph, then you already have this version. So what has been updated? Well, the elevation both in Spain, Portugal, Gibraltar and Andorra. Also, the aerial imagery for Spain, Portugal, Gibraltar and Andorra has been updated, and over 100 airports have been updated. I don't know all the codes by head, right? But you can see that they really spent some time on this. If we continue the list, you can see that there's also an optional world update. So the update we just installed already contains this data. But once we installed the world update, you will see that it has updated some new stuff, right? So it has added photogrammetry cities, for example, for Lisbon, Borrera, Malaga, Bilbao, Casquillas, Cambrera. I noted in the previous video I mentioned that there was probably an update for Barcelona, but someone clearly pointed out, hey, Barcelona is already photogrammetry, and that's correct, right? I forgot it completely. So thanks for the tip. Then we've got some handcrafted airports, Laçu, Durjol, Port, Pico, Faro, and A Coruña. So it looks like that this is specifically for Iberia or Portugal. Then they have added tons of handcrafted points of interest. You can see soccer stadia, you can see cathedrals, hotel arts, metropoles, Punte de, right? So nice, I would say, probably really interesting points in those countries. Tenerife, International Center for Fairs and Congress. Cool stuff. Then we've got the bush trips. There are bush trips for Portugal, the Pyrenees, the Mediterranean coast, or probably maybe this should be coast, not sure, and Iberia connection. In addition to the bush trips, the landing challenges. 2 in the famous category, Girona and Bilbao. 1 strong wind, Pico Airport, and 2 epic ones, Lyon and Portimao. Portimao also known for its Formula 1 track, which is close by. Then we've got discovery flights, both for Madrid, Barcelona, Cabrillo, Gibraltar and Lisbon. And then we have the fixes, because world updates also contain fixes. It looks like that they added a lot of fixes for the Junkers GU52, right? One of the, let's say, nice aircraft there is, and one of the coolest aircraft there is, which has been released as local legend. So the autopilot has some fixes, some tooltips which are fixed, the panel lights, the retrofit has the Z-flighting of the wobble pump cover has been addressed, and a tooltip for the CDI and heading bug. So it looks like more the graphical piece which have been fixed, not really, I would say, instruments which are not working correctly. Well, except this one, the autopilot, which did stop working if you switch to external view. There are still some known issues, right? The wake effects are not visible. That's only applicable to the Junkers. The central panel light knob on every 1 and 2 does not adjust. The panel lights and the default positioning of the VR camera is a little bit further in the back seat. Well, if that's all, not a lot, right? So this world update will bring you an update for both Spain and Portugal. It will add more than 100 optimized airports. It will add, well, a lot of handcrafted point of interest, 4 handcrafted airports, 6 photogrammetry cities, and if we scroll down the list, 4 bush trips, 5 landing challenges, and 5 discovery flights. So let's jump back to Flight Simulator to see if it already has, say, completed the installation. So the installation of the world update has fixed. So let's go to the content manager. because it's always a good idea to validate if there are any other updates. Well, if we check the updates, you can see that the Junkers, which we just reviewed in the release notes, but also several other world updates, the previous ones, got some updates. So make sure that you select all and install all of them. So again, it's 2.6 gigabyte, right? So I'm not going to do it right now, but be aware of that. So once you've done that, you can go back to the home screen and look at the stuff which has been added. So if we go to this list, we will find the world update section, and the world update section contains the updates which are part of the world updates, right? New stuff which has been added by world updates. And you can see here Barcelona, Cumbria, Gibraltar, and then we've got Madrid, Lisbon, and that's it. In the other sections, the miscellaneous, there are some other updates. I'm not sure why they selected this in some cases, but these were also part of the previous world updates, and sometimes it's default content. So that's the discovery flights. If we go into the activities, you will see flight training, but also the landing challenges. And you see there's a new label tag here, which means that there's new stuff being added. And as we expect, you will find the new stuff which is being there, or maybe the stuff which you didn't try yet, because that could also be the case, right? So you can also see my scores. Very transparent into that. So let's have a look here. We've got Girona here. That was one, and there was another one, Bilbao. So those are the two in the famous section. If we go to the next section, Epic, we will also find the new updates, right? If we scroll down, you can see, okay, hey, here we've got Portimao, and we've got, the Portimao was the only one here. So you can see it, and you can click on it, right? You can review it, see which aircraft you're using. In this case, the Textron Aviation Cessna 208B Grand Caravan. Or we can go back to the previous menu and have a look at the strong wind, because in the strong wind section there are two new ones. If we go down the list, we got Pico, which has been added, and I think that Gibraltar was the other one. Yep, I think this one is also new. So cool to see that they added multiple stuff, right? Funchal, I think it was already part of the world update, or of the original content, sorry. But I'm not 100% sure, but I do think it was. Although I'm now starting to doubt with Gibraltar what is the old one. And that's the hard thing. I do think it's an old one because there's no new tag here, right? But the strange thing is that Pico, which is really new, also doesn't have the new tag. So it looks like there's missing some consistency in placing the new tags. If you go to the world map and then zoom into the country, you will see that this one has multiple points, including some with the exclamation mark. Those are the new point of interest which they have added. There's no way to, I would say, release them. So you can see that, for example, if you go to Lisbon, there's the Pont 25. And you can see already some people trying out the new world update to see how it looks like. If we would zoom out a little bit further and go to the other part, right? If we go to Barcelona, you can also see that multiple points of interest have been added here, right? So you can fly over Camp Nou if you didn't do it yet. Casa Mila, Basilique, de la Sagrada Familia, and of course the Tor Akbar, right? So multiple point of interest, so really looking forward to give it a try. So keep an eye on my channel, because I'm gonna fly over some of these cities later today. Here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.